When you use closeness ratings, you have to assign a letter grade, basically, to every pair of departments within your layout to express the importance of closeness. Now, that alone can be quite a bit of work, but notice in this scenario, that work has already been done. RDRS warehouse employees have assigned an importance of closeness to each of any two areas. These were all the areas in their warehouse they were trying to figure out good locations for. To determine the desirability of the scenario 2A. Oh, well, interesting. We already have a layout. RDRS has chosen the following points value to assign to each rating. Okay, and that's what this is over here. Oh, all right. Now, wait. In this scenario, we actually have, from the scenario before, a layout in which to assess. Now, normally, if you are designing a facility from the start with closeness ratings, you first have to come up with a layout. Now, this, you say, well, we don't have to because they're telling us to go find the one from 2A. Yeah, okay, we will do that, and that actually won't take that long. I want to point something out. What would you do if you didn't have a layout? This is good practice, actually, in just getting used to reading this, the so-called REL diagram. Because if I had to create a layout from scratch, one of the things that I would naturally do is first look for all the A's. Remember, this is like a letter grade, where A at the top of the list represents the absolute highest level of importance that those two departments be neighbors. Now, we say, wait, there's a bunch of A's, and what do you mean by two departments? It's whatever, like for instance, this A right here, it's indicating that there's an A rating between high rack storage 1 and high rack storage 2. That's how you read it. This A right here is indicating that it's absolutely necessary, if at all possible, for, wait a minute, read it this way, go up. Well, that's staging area. Okay, and then read it this way, drop down, tool crib. Yes, it's absolutely necessary, or it's of the highest level of importance that the staging area and the tool crib be together. So if you were piecing together a layout, one of the things that you might naturally do is actually start putting some of these A ratings together. You would also probably at the early phase be very interested in who has an X rating. You notice these X's here? And there's one right here. Yes, just as the A rating is the highest level of importance that two departments be neighbors, the so-called X rating represents, please do not make these two departments neighbors. Not only is it not important that they be neighbors, they really should not be neighbors. So in piecing together your layout, please try to avoid that. Now see how some of the X's, they line up all in one line. These right here, drop down and find out who that line belongs to. Oh, that line belongs to the administrative office. What this is indicating is that the administrative office, staging area, now I'm reading up, high rack storage, the administrative office is not very social. They really don't want to be near a lot of people. Okay, anyway, one last little comment about interpreting this scale before we do the work that they asked for is U. The closeness rating of U is use meant to be short for like unimportant. It's an important tipping point in that if two departments are given a rating, a letter grade of U, what it means is that it's unimportant whether they're neighbors, meaning that they don't care. Okay, they could be neighbors or they could not be neighbors. It simply doesn't matter. Everything on that scale above U is varying degrees of importance, but it's like a positive thing that they're neighbors, and only that one letter grade below U, X, only that one represents no, keep them away from each other. Oh, all right. Now, what was it that we have to do to be done with this? Well, they were asking, according to this scale, all right, and the rating specified, how desirable is the layout developed in scenario 2A? Well, we need that layout. So, just a reminder, back in scenario 2A, we had decided to put the 3 high rack storage areas all in a row across the back. We had decided to put tent storage down in this lower left-hand corner. We had decided to put the staging area right there and then put soft goods on the other side of it. I had decided to just put the administrative office back in the upper right-hand corner, and then that leaves only one slot open for the tool crib. Now, the question is that a good layout or a bad layout? Notice that we already developed that layout in the previous scenario. This isn't about how do we get that layout. We have the layout. We're making a comment now on whether it's a good layout or a bad layout. Well, the first thing that we want to do is start incorporating some of the new information. Here's the layout. The first thing you want to do is see what kind of letter grades you actually earned. All right. For instance, in this layout, HR1 and HR2, the 2 high rack areas, they are neighbors. I want to know, here's high rack storage 1, HR1, high rack storage 2, I was talking about that a minute ago. They do. They have a closeness rating of A. They do want to be neighbors, very much so. Oh, that's good, they are. All right, fine, just note that then. And then the same thing with HR2 and HR3, that's their shared rating, and that is also an A, and that makes us happy, because that's good. Now, we have another neighbor relationship here. The 3rd high rack storage area is next to the administrative office, and so I need to find out what that letter grade is. Oh, here's a tip. Reading one of these REL diagrams, especially if it's large, because there was lots of departments to start with. You know, you have a pair and you're just trying to retrieve one of the grades. Between the high rack storage area 3 and the administrative office, what exactly was the rating? Here's what we do. Find one of the 2 that you're curious about. Like one was the administrative office, and you see what I'm doing? I'm just using, a contrasting color. Okay, that band, all that band in there is the administrative office. Now find the other department that you're curious about in the pair, right? See, high rack storage 3, administrative office. You can see what the rating is because it's going to be where the 2 bands cross. I mean, that's how the table stores or organizes this information. You say, okay, well, that's not good news because that's actually an X. Yes, it's an X. Oops. They really did not want to be neighbors, but in this layout they are, so we note that. All right. Okay, fine. We've got to retrieve some others. What about the neighbors across the front of the building? The rating between tent storage and the staging area, oh, that's good. That's actually right there. That's another A. And between the staging area and soft goods storage stage, that's that A right there. That's good, that's good. And between soft goods and the tool crib, soft goods storage tool crib, that's that A right there. Yay. Oh, we got straight A's across the top of the building. Now wait, we're not done yet. There's another set of neighbors here, and that's across this building, right there. These are neighbors, these are neighbors, these are neighbors, and these are neighbors. What kind of ratings did we earn? All right, high rack 1 and tool storage. High rack 1 is here. Not tool storage. High rack 1 and tent storage is a U. Yes, a U. Okay, staging area and high rack 2. Staging area and high rack 2, if you look it up here, is an E. It's not the highest degree of importance, but it's the second highest, so it's certainly kind of like a positive relationship. Now high rack 3 and soft goods we'll find there is another U rating between them. It's kind of unimportant that they're neighbors, but they wound up being neighbors. And then finally, the administrative office and the tool crib. Administrative office, tool crib, that would be their rating right there. Oh, that's an X. Yep, it is. Oh, okay, so for this layout that we're currently evaluating, there's all of the closeness ratings that are earned by that particular layout. Now, we want to make a comment. It says, how desirable is this layout? Well, other than mentioning that we looked up all of these ratings, what is it that we're supposed to do? We're supposed to calculate a score. Notice that we've been given a table of points. The idea being, if you have a pair of neighbors in the layout that have an A rating and they wind up actually being neighbors, you are awarded 100 points. That's what that table means. If you accidentally locate two departments next to each other and they have an X rating between them, meaning they did not want to be next to each other, you lose 100 points. We need to tally for this layout how many points we've actually managed to earn. Okay, so the best way to do that is to first kind of inventory what we managed to achieve. For instance, how many A's do we have? Okay, well, just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, right? 5, yeah, 5. Okay, 5. Then number of E's. Well, just the 1, right? Yeah, just the 1. Okay, 1. Now, what I'm doing is I'm working my way down this list, right? Number of I's, you could write that if you want, but we're going to look in here and we didn't find anything with a rating of I, so the number is 0, so I'm just not even going to bother to list it. Same thing with O, dropping down on the scale. Look in here, nobody has a rating of O, so I'm just not going to bother to list it. U, however, number of U's. There is 1, 2 of them. Okay. And then unfortunately, number of X's. How many F's did we earn on our report card, so to speak, because it's the worst, but it's X. 1, 2, just the 2, the antisocial administrative office there, right? 2. Oh, okay. Now, this is the actual number. What about points? Well, we have 5 A's in our rating. When we look up here, we earn 100 points for each A, basically. We're paid 100 points for each A. We have 5, so 5 times 100 means there's 500 points from the A ratings. Then we get 50 points for each E. We do have 1. So 1 times 50 means I do collect 50 points. We have 2 U's for unimportant. Notice that you don't get any points for U. Oh, okay, well, 2 times 0 technically is the math here, but no, we don't earn anything from U, so no points. And then, right, we flunked out twice. We have 2 X's, so to speak. Each one of them costs us 100 points. So 2 times a negative 100 is a negative 200. Here we go. Our closeness rating score for this entire layout, just add up these points. 500 plus 50 minus 200, I get 350 points. So to address the question, how desirable is the layout? Well, one of the things that we could say is according to the scale, it earns 350 points. Now, is 350 points desirable or not? We can't really make a definitive comment on that until we have another layout to compare it to, of which we'd go through the same steps in order to calculate its point value. Then we would compare the two. Now, with closeness rating, since we're being awarded for the A's and penalized for the X's, we want to see a higher score. That is to say, if you want to beat my layout, the one that I just made up, that just now has a score of 350, you need to fiddle with the location of the departments such that it all adds up to more than 350 points. And there actually are several layouts that beat the one that we just worked on. They result in more than 400 or 350 points, upwards of 500 points if you're clever. And it mostly concerns just trying to find a better place for the administrative office.